Thank you, everyone. So, good evening, everyone. My name is Pooja Salunke. Dheya is live once again today for a super exciting discussion. On behalf of Dheya Career Mentors, let me welcome you all for a discussion on mentorship is key to career success for young professionals. As we all know, Dheya has been in field of career guidance for last 15 years and have a community of around 3,000 professionals from different fields as a career mentors. So let me quickly introduce you to our coveted guests and our esteemed career mentors who will be sharing their journey in field of career mentoring in Dheya with you. Our first panelist, Mr. Kiran Dikshit, has over 25 years of experience in the field of advertising and marketing. He is MBA in marketing and has completed retail management program and CRM from IIM Ahmedabad and senior management program from IIM Kolkata. Presently, he is freelancer, marketing consultant, a NPL coach and a career mentor with Dheya. Our second panelist is Mr. Paresh Kamath, who is into business and information systems with more than 20 years of corporate experience. He has held responsibilities in the areas of program management and IT systems management, business analysis and process improvement, client engagement management, pre-sales and consulting into logistics and supply chain management. He is currently working as head business management of Mindwork Software Services Private Limited and is also a Dheya career mentor. I also introduce our Director Research who will be making a guest appearance here, Commander Naveen Badrinarayan. He is naval veteran and has served our nation for 20 years. He is also a recreational runner and a trainer and director of Pune Ultra Marathon. Before we start this session, let me announce there is a really exciting surprise for all of you, which will be announced in some time. But firstly, let me ask the audience if you are ready and can you just comment hi in the chat box? Thank you. So, I have an interesting statement to make. Last year, Times of India had published an article saying India needs 15 lakh counselors for 315 million students. Now let me ask Naveen, is this really true? Do you need students or 15 lakh counselors for our students or mentors? Over to you, Naveen.
Thank you, Pooja, for that nice welcome and that introduction that you gave. Thank you so much for that. And yes, I think it's a very valid question that you put up today. You know, we've been reading in the papers that 15 lakh career counselors needed in India. So many 350 million children need to be addressed, you know, and we've been watching this for a long time. And I have only one thing to say, and I would like to ask this question to the audience also out here, it's very funny actually when we see the word counseling and what we have been seeing for a long time in India is that, when we are talking about career counseling, it was always about giving education streams. It's about selecting education, which I always felt, are we interested in only the processes? Yes, I'm a Fauji. I've been in the Fauj. Processes are very important. Only if you have a good process can you get a good outcome. We understand that. But can I ask a simple question? When you're playing a match of football, okay, is just playing football important or is the outcome of winning the match more important? It's a very simple question. So my point is that when youngsters are being guided for careers, the outcome of education is extremely critical. Unfortunately, we all have gone through the education, and I'm asking this audience today, when we all go into education, okay, isn't the outcome very important? I'm an engineer by my qualification. I know what all engineering graduate and engineering colleges does. And when we go into the industry and when we work, how much is that education actually getting utilized? Is a big question to be answered. So when we found that when we get into this education all the time, somewhere the outcome needs to be clear before we decide to get into education. What I mean to say is the process. For example, another analogy I would like to mention out here. You're going for a holiday. You don't start packing up your bags and deciding which train you will go by and how you will board a train and which bus you will catch before you decide where you want to go. Now that's exactly the problem. Everybody is talking about, career counseling is more about education streams, colleges. I hear a lot of counselors. Every person, next door is a career counselor because they all seem to be talking about what education you should do, how you should get into a college, what entrance exam you have to give. Everybody talks about career counseling is about education counseling. It's actually not career counseling. So I differ. I beg to differ. I mean, it's not career counseling which is required. We don't require career counselors. We require a holistic approach. We require an outcome-based approach. And that outcome-based approach is what in our terms, in their terms, we call it mentoring, career mentoring, which is not a one-time session. It is not a consultancy at a fee. It is a lifelong relationship. It's about a career is a process. It's a 40-year-old long journey of a child. That's my view. So I think we require people to do mentoring. Of course, we require the numbers that they are talking about, 15 lakh. Yes, we do require that, but not career counselors. They have to be career mentors. That's my point. Over to you, Pooja.
Thank you so much, Naveen. So we can start with Paresh and Kiran both now. Okay. So can we turn on the video for Kiran and Paresh, please? Thank you, Paresh. Kiran sir and Paresh sir, are you there? Let's start with you, Kiran sir. Can you tell us about your journey with Dheya? What inspired you to become a mentor?
Okay. First of all, I thank you, Pooja, and thank you, Dheya, for having me here. And I'm very happy to share my journey.
Kiran, you with me?
So it all began in 2017, towards the end of 2017, Pooja. So how it started, basically after having career experience, and I really enjoyed my career for 25 years. And then I was always, wondering how I can add to the society, how I can give back, in my individual capacity.
I think you're struggling.
I used to do charity, but I never used to get, real satisfaction from that. I received Dheya's Man during those days, and I went through it. I liked the concept, but somehow it didn't give me the confidence that I can become a mentor, because I was never from mentoring field. So in 2018, in January 2018, when I spoke to somebody from Dheya, and I understood how Dheya has a systematic procedure of training people and hand-holding in mentoring profession, that really encouraged me to be a part of it, and that was a trigger point for me. And since then, there is never been looking back, Pooja.
Okay, I think in the meanwhile, as Paresh is coming online, can we continue with the question to Kiran? Kiran, if I'm audible, if you can hear me. Yeah, Paresh is
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I can hear.
So, Paresh, the question was, Pooja was asking Kiran, what was the trigger for you to have become a mentor with Dheya? And, there's a lot of audience out here who are all looking at this as a big opportunity to, do something for society and all that. So it'd be nice if you can throw some light on your trigger, what made you join Dheya as a mentor.
Yeah, so that's a very interesting question. Actually, I have been, into the corporate area for almost 20-25 years. So, and in all these years, I've learned a lot of things. So I thought, at this age now, it's really good and interesting to, share your experiences with the younger generation, the young minds. And, I've been into teaching also. I've been into, indirectly into areas of mentoring somewhere. So, when Dheya approached me somewhere in, I guess it was in 2018. This was a very, I would say a blessing in disguise for me, because, that was actually an area where it was giving me some direction in terms of how I really need to guide people. So, but then, looking back now, it's been a very interesting journey.
Great. That's nice, Paresh. Pooja, are you on? Are you able to hear?
I can hear you, Naveen. Am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible. You're perfectly audible. Just go on with your question. Paresh has also answered.
Great. So moving on to the same question, I think I cannot see Kiran out over here.
No, he's visible. He's
okay.
there.
So Kiran, can you tell us about your journey with Dheya and what inspired you to become a mentor? So
He's already answered it, Pooja. He's already answered it. Move on to the next.
All right. There's an issue at my end then. Okay. Kiran, you have taken this as a freelancer. And how has your experience been with this noble cause and in helping people to achieve their success in their career?
Yeah, it's certainly a noble cause, as you rightly said, because what is happening is that today the importance of career mentoring has really increased because of, the overdose of information which is there. Parents and students are really confused. Okay. And my experience is that whenever I have conducted session with students, it's been a very, very pleasant experience, because initially when students are approaching us or parents are approaching us, they have many questions, many questions, lack of confidence about what they should do in future. They just want to understand, what is right for them. And because of, the multiple opinions from different stakeholders, whether it is peers or teachers or parents, students are really not able to decide what is right for them. And in that scenario, we as a mentor really add great value to their life by guiding them to the right career path, which is matching to their career, which is matching to their personality, core personality. And that is something is a really pleasant experience that I have gone through, Pooja.
Right, Kiran. I think very well articulated. Paresh, what is your take on this? Could you also throw some light on this?
I fairly agree with Kiran on this because, as a parent myself, what I understand is, today's parents are really confused in terms of, because, there are a lot of options, career options that are available. And it becomes very difficult for even the child to take any decision, or forget the child, even the parents to take decisions. And, they need some kind of a help, they need some kind of guidance in terms of, what is right for their child. And what I've seen is that the kind of training that is imparted by Deya in terms of analyzing people's personalities has really helped us in guiding the parents and the children in terms of what career options they can take comments with their personality per se. So that is the most satisfying situation for us also, because when we see that smile on the parent's face, that gives us level of satisfaction and that level of motivation also to take it take more sessions further.
Superb. I think that's a very valid point. As you said, that satisfaction word and that smile on the face. I think these are the two key points that Paresh brought out. And Kiran, what do you think? After that session, what is your? I think the audience, is not very clear about. They are getting into something called career mentoring. But I think they would like to know that whenever we take this session, okay, what are the kind of feelings that as a mentor, you would like to walk them through a process of a session with a kid and a parent, in which before the session, what you go through, during the session, what you go through, and post the session, what happens? What are the feelings of a mentor, and what is that exact process of mentoring? If you can just throw light on that, it will be a very good exposure to this audience. I think that's what they are looking forward to, is what I feel. So Kiran, can you start with that? Can you just explain to this audience and walk them through this?
Sure. Mentoring is certainly a responsible job. It's not just business or an occupation, but it's a responsibility that you are shouldering. So, as you rightly said, we can actually divide the mentoring process into three parts when we, conduct session at Deya. Before the session, the activity that we go through is definitely go through the report and understand the core personality of the person. Now, as you are aware, I conduct sessions for students, for early career professionals and mid-career professionals. And for every session, you need to, do your homework thoroughly, do the proper analysis of the person's strengths, what are they capable of, okay, what is their lifestyle. I mean, whatever you can gather from the report, from the psychometric report, it gives you immense insight into the personality. So understand the person's personality, analyze it, and, once you list down the strengths, once you understand the quality of the personality, you map it with the right career choices. Okay, that generally happens in the before session activity. We also occasionally get in touch with, students or the candidate before the session, just to, start building the rapport, create excitement about the career, about the session. And, that really helps, when we start the session. So that happens in the before session activity. During the session, of course, the interaction is on. You're talking to parents, you're talking to students, and constantly back of the mind, I'm also analyzing and validating my analysis, because the way students talk, the way parents talk, how do they behave? Okay, it has to, validate my analysis. Only then I can confidently recommend the career choices that I have worked for them. So that process is constantly on. And at the same time, if there are any issues between the parents or between the student and parents, certainly we try to iron it out when it comes to career decision. So that also is a very crucial activity that happens during the session, Naveen. And after the session, of course, the session ends, but I would put it in a way that session ends, but responsibility begin of handholding. So students are in touch with us and they do communicate their achievement, whatever they have achieved in their academics or, extracurricular activities. And parents also keep in touch. They also give, a lot of appreciation and gratitude for the child's journey and child's career planning. So overall, it's been an exciting process, although it is divided into three parts. And as I said, that it does require a good amount of homework, and you really need to be alert and on your toes throughout the three processes, Naveen.
Great. So I think what you essentially brought out to summarize is number one, preparation. Preparation very important. Number two, validation during the session. And number three, keeping in touch and handholding after the session. So these were the salient points. But I'll go one step deeper to Paresh and say, okay, this is what mentoring is constituting of as a work. But if I were to ask very internally, what are the emotions or what are the feelings that a mentor has to go through? What would that be? As a mentor, if you can throw light on that, Paresh.
Yes, just to add, Kiran rightly explained just now, what we generally also do is, before the session when we speak to the parent, we make it a point to speak to the parent because many a times what happens is, parents have lot of ideas in their minds and they have lot of concerns, So that level of comfort is ideally given prior to the session with the parent. That there is a, mentor there out there to help you out. So that level of confidence is given at the prior to the session when we discuss with the parents in terms of maybe if you find some, let us say, some disturbance, in their report or, something that we observe from the psychometric that, we really would like to discuss before we take up the session. We always do that, and that actually helps build up that level of confidence and the parents really confide in us. Many times, the parents do not want to discuss such things in front of the child to make the child uncomfortable. So, we always do that. And during this session also, what is very important that we actually ensure is, getting that level of focus of the parent and the child, because the session actually goes on for around 2 to 2.5 hours. And, the focus of the child and the parent is very important. And the level at which we really we have to converse with the child makes a lot of difference there. Giving that level of comfort to the child and the parent, you have to make that session more interactive. But at the back of the mind, you have to keep the personality of the child and, giving a lot of importance to that, expecting what the child would react or how the child would react to your question. But nevertheless, this is very important that, during the session, you have to make the child very, interactive and make him open up to discuss what he has in his mind in terms of, career options, and that gives a lot of comfort level to the parents.
Right. So that's during the session. And what happens post the session?
Post the session, as I 100% agree with what Kiran says, the actual responsibility starts post the session because, by the time the session ends, the kind of feeling that the parents have that, yes, this is one organization, this is one, mentor who is going to be there throughout with us. So, what we generally do is after the session also, we are in continuous touch with the parent and the child in terms of, following up with them on the career research that we have given to them, guiding them in terms of, what queries they may have on the career research. So it never happens that, okay, the session ends, within 2 hours and then, okay, fine, it is all done. No. So it's a continual relationship that we maintain. And, I would always say that, the last 2 years I've been doing sessions, but I'm still in touch with my students and their parents. Whenever they want to discuss with me, my phone is always available for them to speak with. So that is the level of comfort that is very, very important when it comes to mentoring. And that's how it differentiates mentoring from counseling, actually.
Absolutely. And that was my, the next question that I was supposed to ask, and you already answered it, saying that, we always boast about a concept called mentor for life in Deha. Okay, so this mentor for life concept is something that many people wonder, what do you mean by this mentor for life? I think very aptly, Paresh just and Karan also mentioned it, that it's not about just doing one session, because career is not about that one session. Career is going to start from there, and next 50 years of his life is going to be working in that phase. And mentor is like a guru who is saying that I'm there for you, don't worry. Whenever you need me, I'm there. And that's what, I feel. So if I were to ask you, let me put this question to Kiran now. We're taking you on for the next topic. So what is the right quality that you think? Now, you're a great mentor. Both of you, I must tell the audience here, the people, these mentors in front of us are the people who have always been scoring a 5 on 5 in their ratings, okay? Not a single session have Kiran or Paresh done where they've not got a rating of 5 on 5 as a feedback. So, the feedback system. So, that's the reason we have brought, the super mentors out here to talk to the audience so that they can understand what this mentoring is all about. Now, having said that, what are the right qualities, okay, for a mentor? In your opinion, Kiran, what do you think are the right qualities for a mentor? Who are the right people who can become mentors?
Naveen, I said some time back that, mentoring is not just a profession, but it's a responsibility. So having said that, I feel most important quality that person should have is that willingness to shoulder that responsibility. It's a good amount of responsibility that you're shouldering. Second is that, you should have really passion to help others. People are in state of confusion or in state of problem. Are you willing to help them? Are you willing to, passionately solve their problem? Okay, by going that extra mile, you might not have sometime, ready-made solutions. So are you willing to go that extra mile and help that student or parent or maybe the professionals who are seeking career clarity? So, that is something that, person should have a right kind of an attitude towards, understanding person and respecting the uniqueness of the every person. Okay, that is also very critical and very important to the mentoring profession. Okay, you need to have respect. Every person is unique. You cannot just, have one size fit all kind of a approach for all the students. So respect their uniqueness. Somebody will be very, very brilliant in academics. Somebody will be very, very brilliant in some sort of art, or maybe somebody will be brilliant in sports. How do you, give them customized, tailor-made career solutions? How do they help them? How can you help them? So that sensitivity has to be there, respecting the uniqueness. And also the maturity, because you are also a parent. Most importantly, you are also a parent. So, you have to play a balancing role between the student and the parent, whenever there are any issues. So having that maturity also matters a lot. And overall updated knowledge on the future of world of work. What is the shape that it's going to take? One need to know that. What are the changes going to happen? What careers are getting absolute? So all these things, put together, will make a really good mentor, according to me.
Thanks for that input, Kiran. And taking on from what you said, I'll ask Paresh, how important do you think, like what Kiran just mentioned, knowledge of the future of work, knowledge of work. So who do you think are the right people who can actually be mentors in terms of their age profile or their professional profile or their credibility? What do you think were the right mix who would actually make a great mentor?
I would, to answer it in a very short way, what I would say is, there are 2-3 important factors. One is, having a passion for helping others, or having a passion for guiding people is very important. That's the first and foremost. The other aspect is understanding the parent psychology is very, very important, because for a child who is probably in the 8th standard, 9th standard, or probably a 10th standard, forget 10th standard, even 12th standard children are still confused, okay, because a lot of, as I said earlier, so it is all the more important that you understand the parents' problem. So you are in a position to understand the parents' issue quite well. So being a parent yourself helps you to some extent, because you are also in that situation somewhere, in some case or the other. So that's the another important aspect there. And also very important is in terms of knowing what is going on. So your experience of the corporate world helps you a lot. Definitely helps you a lot, because just understanding what is in the industry is very, very crucial when it comes to guiding people in terms of career, because they are definitely has a huge database of career options that are available in terms of it. But then to analyze that, to understand, to comprehend, that is also very important. So having a corporate background or some business background where you have actually seen what is happening across the industry, how the digitization of the world is taking over jobs, the impact of all these is very important, and keeping yourself aware of what is happening in terms of which areas, which sectors are getting impacted is very important. So keep reading, keep researching. If you have liking for all these things, it definitely matters, because then only you will be able to guide people in the right way. So that is an important aspect there.
Brilliantly put across, Paresh. Thanks for that. That means what you're essentially bringing out, both of you, is that a person who needs to mentor should be very passionate foremost and should have an attitude to help people. That comes out very clearly from both of you, and I think I also completely agree to that fact, that energy has to come. And I think very important point is also the influencing ability, the ability to influence the child and the parents needs to be there, or needs to be built. Okay, but then very importantly brought out by Paresh, that research and knowledge of work areas is very critical, because if you may have research, but if you're not able to put the pieces together and not able to analyze it practically, then it's not going to be of any use. You cannot just read out from a computer screen and tell a child that you can become this or you can become that. You need to be able to connect the dots very well, understand the child very well, and I think that brings a very important part of the jigsaw puzzle when we talk about mentoring. So thanks for that. Now let me move on to the next question. Okay, it's about how has this mentoring process, or this entire mentoring journey of yours, affected you, okay, on your personal front and on your professional front? If you can just throw light, because you have somebody's in marketing, somebody's an engineer or working in the IT systems, and then you have moved into a role called mentoring. I myself was a naval engineer, I'm a runner, and I've got into mentoring. So I want to ask you, okay, I have my own stories, of course, but then I want to ask you, what is your story of how has it affected you on the personal space and on the professional space. Starting with you, Paresh, can you just throw light on that?
Yeah, on a personal front, definitely one thing what I've learned out of it, because career mentoring is completely different field altogether for me, because I come from a different background altogether, from the IT or the different domain altogether. So it was a different experience altogether for me. So what I've learned is lot of things, and first and foremost is in terms of analyzing personalities. So now when I look at people, now when I look at even strangers, how they converse, how they talk, I start thinking from the angle of how I would analyze the report. So on a personal level, definitely. So the way I converse, the way I handle people nowadays is completely different from what I used to do earlier. So having said that, even on a professional front, having managing a team, when we see that when it comes to team, again I go by that point that every personality is unique. So same happens within a team also on a professional level. So when you talk of a team, a large size team, every person is different, and you have to handle that person in a customized way. I would use that word customized way, because every person is different, so the same solution may not work. So this particular knowledge, in the training that I got from there, in terms of analyzing personalities, analyzing reports, how you should look at it, and after having taken so many sessions till now, it has really helped me a lot in terms of the way I manage my team now. There are issues with the team, there are career issues with the team also, growth level issue, performance level issues with the team, where I know now how to handle them. So this is what I would say has been kind of a blessing in disguise in a way on the professional and the personal front also.
Thanks, Paresh. That was a brilliant insight. I mean, learning this and complete understanding of people is something that you have understood very well from this training. And now when you look at people, you look at them very differently and try to understand them and accept them the way they are. I think that's what you're trying to say. Absolutely. Accepting people and not judging them. So that's a big change that I think you're mentioning about. Kiran, what is your view on this?
Sure. Personally, definitely it has helped me as a person in terms of reading people. It has also, given me a great insight on respecting the uniqueness of the person and dealing with them accordingly. Okay. So on a personal front, now I have a son who is now in 12th standard and preparing for JEE. After the training and after I have also, got the training session done for him, we have got tremendous clarity in terms of career. And now me and my son, we as a family are working as a team on, his career plan and career development. So on a personal front, that has benefited me a lot. I also got answers to many questions like, why son behaves in a particular way. But after having understood the personality and the traits, okay, now there are no, doubts or questions about, and we respect that and we have accepted that. So on a personal front, it has helped me in that manner. On a professional front, the benefits are larger because, as you are aware, I'm a freelance marketing consultant and I have to deal with clients, deal with customers. And, in the initial talks when we are pitching new businesses or even when, on the dealing, which is going on a regular basis, because of this knowledge of understanding people, reading people behavior, understanding their personality. So even if the report is not in my hand, but you can really, pick out what kind of personality is. And accordingly, we change our language and, get the work done. So it has tremendously helped me. As a consultant, I am also, acting as a mentor to my clients. And that has really improved my relationship with client. And, it is mutually beneficial to client as well as me. So certainly on personal and professional front, this training is really impactful.
Superb. So I think it's a lot of insight for the audience here from your experience. And I personally, even for me, it completely changed, because I'll tell you my experience handling my own child, the way I used to deal with my child, because I was a topper. I used to always score well in my academics. So there was a natural expectation that my children also should get good marks and all that stuff. And I used to be very pushy about, children getting marks and all. Once I went through this entire training and I understood this process, I actually cried at times, how I have treated my own children. It was a big introspection for me to realize that, every child is different and every child is unique, as you rightly brought out, and to accept them the way they are and to give them that confidence that the way they are, they can do well. It's not necessary that everybody has to score 99% or 100%. Even a child who's very good in sports can actually do very well in that area. Somebody is very good with some painting can do very well in that area. It's for us to understand them and help them become what they want to become, rather than try to impose something on them. Is something that I carry back from the experience, and I think that's the same thing that's being echoed by both of you here. So that's a common fact for all of us. So that's a big takeaway from this, from Dheya, I would say, that all of us as a community are working towards. But then a question that keeps coming to most of the people's mind, and I keep speaking to people, is that, I'm a naval guy. You are a marketing guy. I'm a naval mechanical engineer, okay? And I have a person here who's working in the IT. Paresh has been in the IT systems, in software management, and in supply chain and all that. So we are all from different backgrounds. That typically people have this mindset that if some child comes to you, that child should be guided by somebody who is in that field in which the child wants to go. So this is a question which comes to many people's mind. Okay, so I would like your view, Paresh, on how in Dheya as a mentor, we are from different backgrounds. How do we handle any and every client? Can you throw light on this?
Yeah, that's a very good question, a very interesting question actually, because as you rightly pointed out, we are all from different fields, but then we end up recommending a child about a different career altogether. Probably we are not part of it. But there are two things that matter there. Is one is the amount of research that Dheya itself does, and the amount of the amount of research that the mentors also do in terms of identifying, understanding. So before even conducting a session, the kind of homework that we do, okay, in terms of, let us say I talk about a financial analyst. So maybe what does a financial analyst actually do is something which, unless until I am not convinced myself, how can I recommend it to the child? So this is an exercise as a homework we ought to do, as a mentor per se. So that is a very important aspect. The amount of research that is required to do, or the amount of understanding, amount of reading that is required to do. Because see, if it's a passion, then it doesn't become a workload for you. Oh, I have to do so much research. No. If it's a passion, then yes, it becomes a part of your activity altogether. And it definitely helps, because when we recommend certain career options to children, there are a lot of questions that come up from the parents, and without research it becomes difficult to answer. So all the more makes necessary that you do the necessary amount of research that is required for these kind of different career options that are available. Keep reading different areas, I would say topics, and try to understand what is happening in different domains altogether. Plus the second advantage is we have a very wide ecosystem of career mentors, I would say. So that is a very big advantage that we have. So sometimes it happens that we discuss, it's like how a doctor takes a second opinion. So likewise, we also take a second opinion from a co-CDF, and try to understand whatever we have analyzed is the right career option or no. So, or maybe there are certain more things. So that actually helps build our knowledge also, the career options that are there. So this is the way we handle these things.
Brilliant, Paresh. That's a very nice way of doing it. That means you're saying there's an ecosystem of mentors which is helping each other. There are some people who have been doing more sessions, and for example, you are now helping many young mentors who have just joined up. So there's a complete ecosystem of a community of mentors which is helping each other understand and do this work, of course backed up with a lot of research system in the portal. Kiran, would you like to add anything to whatever Paresh just said?
Certainly, Naveed. In fact, let me tell you, at present I have a great amount of student base. As you are aware, somebody wants to be CFO of Apple iPhone company. Okay, he's studying in 12th standard. Okay, I have one 12th standard student who wants to be Air Chief Marshal. Okay, I have one student who wants to become astrophysicist, scientist. And I have one student who wants to become a software architect. Okay. I have one student who wants to go for medical. And trust me, fortunately, I have worked with many clients in the past where from a diversified industries background. So I'm definitely having exposure to all of these different fields. But still, when it comes to mentoring students, okay, what is more important is initially gaining their trust in terms of, giving them the assurance that, yes, we understand you well. Okay, that is the first part of it. Two is, before we go ahead with the session and before you recommend any careers to anyone, as Paresh said rightly, definitely get knowledge from your CDF mentor community, and you also do your own homework, because own homework gives you more insights into each of this profession. And then we are able to, deal with any sort of queries. Now, suddenly I had some queries when I had recommended career to somebody to become an actuary, insurance actuarial science. Now, fortunately, I mean, definitely as a practice, I do a great amount of homework before I recommend any career to anyone. So I could deal with such kind of a queries. So, credit goes to, and definitely Daya has such a large research base with us. We also leverage on that. So it's a myth that I should be from Air Force or I should be from IT to guide person who wants to pursue career. Of course, it will definitely have added advantage, no doubt about it. Okay, but since our community is so big and has a good mix of professionals from diversified background, so it doesn't really become a roadblock in mentoring activities, according to me, Naveen.
Great. Another very important point which comes out, very important point which a lot of people keep asking, how do we manage the time? You're doing freelance, he's into work, and you know how corporate life is, it's crazy, there is no time left for everyone. So you're joining a mentor community and saying, I'm going to do something for society and going to work in part-time and do this work. So how do you manage this whole part-time thing, is a question that I would first like to ask Paresh, because he's into full-time work and he's, crazily working for a IT company. So I want to ask Paresh first, what is your view on that? How do you manage your time?
It's not so difficult as such, because generally I conduct my session during weekends. Okay, so Saturdays and Sundays are mostly kept for sessions, and so preparation actually doesn't take much time. Okay, maybe at the start, obviously you need some time to prepare yourself, but as you go on taking more and more sessions, then what happens is once you read a report, obviously you start visualizing in your mind in terms of what kind of personality the child is altogether, and we have great tools within there also in terms of helping us out work out our analysis quite well, and it actually helps. So I generally do this after office hours, preparing myself during after I am done with my work, and get ready for sessions on Saturdays or Sundays. So it's not a difficult aspect as such.
Okay, so that's Paresh's view. That's not difficult. He's managing his weekends very well. Kiran, off to you. How about you? How do you manage your time for mentoring? What is your strategy? What's your plan? How do you do that?
Right. So my experience is I have seen parents or students or even the professionals for that matter, they prefer sessions to be scheduled on weekends or on holidays. Okay, so whenever I plan my week, I always make it a point that, okay, at least 2 sessions per week I should be able to accommodate. Now it purely depends if I can, convert some parents into customers, or if I get leads from there, whatever it is, I have always provision for 2 sessions per week. That's how I plan my weekends. And since I'm into freelance consulting business, it also gives me sometimes some flexibility if any emergency or urgent sessions to be conducted during the week. Then I have that provision. Unfortunately, these sessions are scheduled as per mutually convenient time. So nobody has to really compromise on their schedule. So as a mentor, I can tell that, okay, no, Wednesday I am not available. Maybe Thursday evening is fine. And parents are also flexible, or students are also flexible in terms of scheduling. Okay, if they have classes or exams or something going on, then probably again mutually and their executives really coordinate well in terms of identifying the right schedule so that it is convenient and comfortable to both students as well as the mentor.
Great. So that brings me to the next question, which I'll put to Paresh out here, and you also eventually. You've been with Daya for a long time now, and you've been working as mentors, and there has been a lot of when people do certification programs and then they come out of it, there is this kind of thing. Okay, I got a certificate. So many certificates are today available. Call it career counseling certification, and then career coaching, life coach certification. But then, what we find is there a support system that is available? Because that's a question that many people ask. Okay, I will get a certification done, but after that, what? How do you, so that's something that I would like, Paresh, what's your experience and how did you begin your journey, and how was it, enabled to reach where you have reached today?
Definitely, there's a lot of support that I got from Daya per se, because obviously being a working professional, finding my own students to mentor was not an easy task as such. So initially I used to get leads from Daya itself in terms of conducting sessions, and the other aspect is that till date I get a lot of leads from Daya also, and the other is you can conduct your sessions quite well, then you can build your own references, because it's like a word of mouth publicity that happens. That's what I have experienced in my all these years that I have been conducting. That if you are conducting it well, then the parent actually spreads the news. Oh, look, I did this for my child, so why don't you try it out? And I've got a lot of sessions from that aspect also. So in a way, I would say the last 3-4 years, 3.5 years, I've been able to do a lot of sessions. So it's been a great learning. It's been a great learning.
Right, Paresh. Kiran, what do you think? What's your take on this?
See, DEA has systematically devised overall the ecosystem for mentoring. That's what I have experienced. As I told you, I am a part of this particular ecosystem since January 2018. And what I have seen that, yes, very, very effective training. I mean, in just 3 days initial training time, I could understand the different types of personalities, how to read the reports, how to analyze it and all that. So that was very, very powerful. Later on, the hand-holding process, like directly we are not putting into the session. Like, okay, the hand-holding process where, you go through demo videos, you go through a lot of reading materials, that makes you and prepares you as a mentor. Okay. Plus, you encourage, the mentors' kids to do their own session. So you as a parent also undergo the experience of what kind of session happens with children. So there is a lot of hand-holding, there is a lot of learning during the process before even you start conducting your independent session. So, that is one part. Second part, what I like about overall this profession and being mentor with DEA is that a very, very strong support system. Okay, whether it is, registering the lead in the system or, scheduling the session or during the session or post session, the kind of support that I get. Okay, so, that is so strong that it doesn't really make me think that, okay, what I have to do next, because the entire process is so smooth that, I'm nowhere stuck during the session or planning the session. So that is something is very good. And also, the kind of material that DEA provides for conducting sessions, that is also very useful, not only in terms of conducting the session, but also for parents and children to go through it and plan their activities. So overall, it's a very strong ecosystem that it has been designed, and I would say it has been evolved over the period, which is really helping mentors to do their business smoothly.
Yeah, thank you so much, Kiran. I think a very valid point. One question which is, I think we need to talk about, we've been talking about students a lot. Let's move a little bit to the professional side. And Kiran, I think I will ask this question to you because you have been dealing with a lot of mid-career cases and, really done well in that and done a lot of good work in that. So what has been your experience handling mid-career professionals, and what kind of, if you can mention one odd, incidents which which you can throw light to the audience will be glad to hear about it.
Mid-career sessions are different ball games than, the children that we do. Mid-careers are at the age group where, they have been there and done that sort of a thing. They know everything. They have done their all sort of educational qualification. They are working at a senior level and probably, stuck somewhere or not able to move ahead, not enjoying the career. So there you need to have a different approach altogether. And having worked at senior level in different organizations, that gives me really added advantage in terms of, empathizing with mid-career professionals, understanding their issues and handholding them. So there it is not only a psychometric test. Of course, we definitely come to know about the personality of the person, but also the kind of, expertise, the domain expertise that person has developed and what is the passion. We have different tools that are devised in terms of handling this kind of sessions. So these tools are very, very effective. And I have seen many professionals, going through the eureka moment, if I can call so, because, they really discover new insights about themselves. And they say that, oh, this was somewhere back of the mind, but I didn't know that, this will come out. So these are the powerful tools. That's the magic of tools. We go through that. And professionals really get help in terms of identifying what next. Because, changing job at this stage is not really a solution. So what next is a big question mark, because they have responsibility of their families. Probably they are serving their loans or liabilities. Their kids are growing. They have to fund their kids' education. So, a lot of things, lot of parameters to be kept in mind before we do the planning or career transition or transformation maybe. during this process. So it's a very interesting and exciting process, and I really enjoy working with mid-career professionals as well. I mean, if you are talking about examples, there are many, many examples, in fact. But to name a few, like, great global telecom professional, how he, transitioned from his telecom profession to the retailing or cafeteria kind of a business. Okay. And while managing, like from getting rid of full-time 9 to 5 or whatever the job is, from that thing to, the consultancy, which was his domain expertise, to add on in the initial stages. Or, the bankers who suddenly, has, of course, there was a liking somewhere back of the mind, but suddenly has discovered a path of, being a great historian who will impact the society.
Wow.
Yeah, and we have really chalked out a plan where, we are looking at great achievement on that path. So it's really a great field. And, we have also, listed down the kind of achievements, this person will have in the career journey. Okay, right up to the Padma Awards.
Wow.
Okay, so it's really an interesting process, and, you really need to, work in depth with the person to come out with a real interesting insights.
Great. So basically, you are not only dealing with students and giving them aspirations, even the mid-career people are being given aspirations of winning Padma Awards. That's amazing. I mean, so that's a very big achievement. So let me ask Paresh, as part of this whole mentoring program, you also would have gone through this mid-career transition thinking, at least if not a real transition, but the seed of thought would have gone into you. So how did this program impact you in this mid-career journey?
Definitely, because what I've seen is this particular activity that I do is definitely a big stress buster for me. Okay, so at one point of time, I had this particular thing in my mind that maybe once my my son settles down, then I may probably move into this direction altogether. In terms of, because this is something which I'm really enjoying as a profession. So I may plan to move full time into these kind of activities in terms of mentoring, guiding people. So it has actually indirectly given me myself also certain directions. While I am conducting sessions, while I am mentoring people, having undergone the training of even mid-career, what I have seen is personally is yes, even I can do this. I can move out from my existing profession and get into somewhere areas where I am really passionate about. So definitely on a personal level, it has also given me a lot of benefits there.
Super. I think it's quite a bit of time. So before I move on to the audience and ask their questions, I'll ask a last question to both of you to speak to the audience here. And a lot of people in the audience are looking for a lot of questions, where they say, what am I going to get into? What is this career mentoring? Because there are too many coaching and certifications happening in the industry today, especially after this pandemic has come and online training has become the buzzword. Every day there are new ads, there are new companies coming up. Everybody's talking about coaching, certification, online programs. So everybody's looking for, what am I getting into? What is this kind of a thing? So what are they going to get into is something that I would like you to tell them. If they are going to get into it, A, what is their, I would say the requisite qualifications or QRs that they need to get into. B, if they get into it, what is in store for them? What do they expect? So these are some salient points which I would like Kiran to first throw light, and then Paresh can add on to that. Yeah, Kiran, off to you.
Yeah. So, people who are planning to join this profession, let me tell you that it's really a noble profession. It really gives you immense satisfaction. I mean, money, of course, the kind of efforts you put in, you will gain the money. So that's really a secondary. But here, when you get many thanks from different parents and students and the professionals, that gives you great sense of achievement, the kind of happiness when you see in the eyes of people. So, when you are looking at getting into this particular profession, I would repeat my points which I have earlier said, that definitely first understand why you want to get into this profession. Okay, what is that? What is your vision, or what is your personal goal? Why you want to become a mentor? Okay, once you get that clarity, okay, then get into the next question, that how I will add value to people, and am I willing to shoulder that responsibility? Because, as I said some time back, it's not a profession, it's not just a business or occupation, but it's a responsibility that you share. And responsibility cannot be honored just between, one session of 2 hours or 3 hours. Okay, responsibility is basically, as the concept goes, mentor for life. okay, you are responsible. So are you willing to shoulder those responsibilities? Is something that, there. And third point is that are you interested and will you enjoy meeting new people and, unique personalities, different unique personalities, because you learn a lot during this process. You learn from students, you learn from parents, and it's somehow, making you expert in, handling the relationship or, guiding people how to deal with relationship. So that's an add-on benefit. So you be ready for all these things. And most importantly, networking with mentor community also gives you great amount of insights into different professions. So, are you willing to network? Are you willing to coordinate with everyone? Are you willing to help others? Because it's not a one-way process that only you will keep getting the help. Okay, but you also have to offer help to others. So are you willing to do all that? So I think me talking more on quality, I would say if you can answer this question for yourself, will certainly help you decide and make up your mind whether you want to be a mentor or not. Naveen.
Thanks, Kiran. I think very brilliantly articulated. I think it's a very valid point, and I think audience has really taken those points from you that you have to be passionate. You have to take it as a responsibility. It's not just a job; it's a calling. It's a very something which has to be coming from within. So you have to answer these questions: are you willing to help? Are you willing to be part of a community? Are you willing to put that service or seva bhav into your work? These are some things that Kiran has brought out. Paresh, do you want to add something to this?
No, I totally agree with Kiran. So as he rightly said, makes more this thing. That you should really ask yourself. Why do I need to go for mentoring? Why do I need to become a mentor myself? And if you really, from the bottom of your heart, if you really feel that there is something which I want to give to the society based on what I have learned in all these, or what experience that I have had in all these years, I think you should get into, because there are two things which I have seen. What I have experienced out here is two things. One is the immense amount of satisfaction that you get after having conducted a session. Very, very important, I'm telling you this, because it's definitely a 2.5, 3 hour session that you conduct, but then how you go through this 3 hours is really, you don't understand. It just passes away. That is the level of satisfaction that you get. The another important aspect is the amount of knowledge that you get other than what you would do in your regular profession. So if you really are interested in these two aspects, and the bottom line being that looking at the smile of a parent or getting that smile from the parent is very, very important. If you feel that is one of the important criteria for you, then definitely I think you should become a mentor.
Fantastic, Paresh. One question is just beating into my mind, and I think I'm going to ask it because it's a very logical question. I think everybody in the audience is going to ask this. Deya is not an NGO or not a charity organization. Okay? Because whatever we spoke till now seems to be like we are some spiritual charitable organization which is doing things for free, which we are not. We are a completely business organization. So how do you combine these two paradoxical things? On one side, I'm saying seva bhav, and one side I'm saying that we want to contribute, we want to, but at the same time, it's a business where we are charging money, and quite a handsome sum of money we charge for a value that we are giving them. I'm not saying at any point that our value is lesser. Value maybe much times more, but then how do you counter this and how do you talk about this? Because this is an audience's perspective that I'm trying to bring out to a mentor, and I would like to know your view on that.
See, definitely I agree with you. Deya is definitely not an NGO or organization as such, but then we definitely charge good amount to the parents, to the candidate, we can call them, not just because we do mid-career also. So, but then the kind of value that we give, because if you see the report, the kind of analysis, the kind of orientation sessions that we carry out, so that 3 hour session is quite a lot in terms of value that we offer, in terms of the experienced CDFs that we have and the way they conduct these sessions. But having said this, for a CDF, from a personal this thing, I would say the benefit is it's a win-win situation, because on one side I'm getting to pursue my passion, that's one, but on the other side I'm earning also. Okay, so to be very specific, it's a win-win situation. So, that's how I will, actually put it forward. It's a win-win situation.
Thanks, Paresh. Kiran, your views on this, please?
Certainly. I mean, Deya is not a charitable organization, though we are talking about the personal quality of seva bhav, that is on one hand. But, organization to survive and keep doing good work and keep doing the impacting, long-lasting impact on the society, you need to survive, you need to do business, right? So business is on other fronts. So we were so far talking about the individual personal qualities. Okay, but for students and parents also, though we say that we are charging handsome money, but if you compare to the kind of value that we deliver to parents or students or any professionals through this kind of sessions is much, much more than what we are charging them. That is point one. Point two is we are also helping them save on their, the cost they might incur if they go ahead without planning into the career. Okay, so that is certainly a part of doing good to the society. Okay, and especially having striking balance, basically it comes in delivery. The people do feel, when you are offering the value, people do see a great amount of value in our sessions. So there is no question, and I think nowhere in the community also people are projecting that DEA is a charitable organization or something like that. Yes, having said that, they do a lot of social work or CSR activities, I may say, and that is happening parallelly, but that is nothing to do with this kind of a session. So certainly there is a clear demarcation in that.
So great. I think audience would have got satisfied, I'm sure, with the brilliant answers that you have given. And last point that I would like to add on to what you said is, having mentors like you, super Diggaj personalities from the industry. I think if these people are spending their valuable time and giving a huge value to the parents, there is a bare minimum that the children and the parents also need to understand that nothing is free in this world. And some audiences also rightly pointed out, there's no free lunch. And as a career, every youth needs to understand that baite baite kuch nahi milne wala. You have to work hard. You have to give value to get value. So I think that sums it up all. So thank you so much. What I will do is I'll open the house for questions and answers round. I'll ask the audience to put it on the chat box. And if somebody is raising their hand, then I can possibly open their mic also so that they can ask the questions. Is there any questions that we would like to ask the mentors out here? So I have some questions here. Can it be taken as a part-time profession to start with? I think it's a self-answered question. Anyway, Kiran, could you answer this?
Certainly. Yeah, it can be considered as a part-time profession because as I said some time back, you have to manage your time. You know how much time in the week is available to you. And accordingly, DEA offers great amount of flexibility. Students and parents are also flexible in terms of scheduling session. The activity of undergoing the session is very, very critical and important. But it is never urgent. Today only the session should happen and today only I should get the career path. It is never that urgent. So you definitely have, some time to plan your sessions in advance and to deliver the session. So certainly it can be considered as a part-time activity. In fact, I would suggest that initially you begin with part-time and then, as you go along, once you get a strong grip on the session and the way you perform in the ecosystem, you can always, think of making it full-time also.
Thanks, Kiran. There is one question here. Some Hemant Kumar is asking, can we be the mentors using DEA's platform? I don't understand the question because to become a mentor, you got to get registered, get certified and get trained. So only after that you join the community. So there is a process for it. So you cannot be using the platform per se from the outside world unless you become part of the community. So that's a question which I'm kind of answering. Yeah, Sachin, but I think this is a question which I think you had answered, but anyway, I'll pose this question to you. How do you manage calls from clients during the week when you are in a full-time job? I think Paresh, I think you should answer this question.
There's no interference as such because, as I said earlier, the sessions generally are done during the weekend times because, that's the time when, as a working professional, I get the time. Plus, even the parents, most of the parents we've seen are, working professionals themselves, and generally we, expect both the parents, the father and the mother to be, present during the session. So, that's also preferable to them. So, calls is just phone calls that you get. If you're busy, I generally tell them, that I will call you back or maybe we fix up a mutual time and then, we complete the call and whatever queries they have, we answer the queries.
Right. Great. So that is one of the questions asked. Let me check any other questions. How much is the training duration and can that be taken during weekends? Yes, I think the training duration is 4 days training program and it is basically done during the weekends only. It's done online and it is done during the weekends. But this is a question asked by Nagalakshmi, so our team will get in touch with you to, in case you're interested, we'll let you know the process. It's a 4 days program and done on Saturdays and Sundays. Okay. Now I've got a question here. Say if we are ICF certified coach, so I'm talking about DEA to act as platform for mentor-mentee channel. Can I speak to someone at DEA? We have a lot of people in our community who are having these certifications of Kiran himself is a master NLP trained professional. There are a lot of ICF certified coaches in our mentor community. DEA is a very unique system and a platform. Once you join us, you will understand what I'm talking about. So I guess you will have to join us first and then, you can definitely use the platform. Definitely. What training foundations is provided by DEA? Okay. So I guess there is a handout in this place. I'm going to be sharing this handout. So I've shared a handout. So you can download the handout. It's a proposal for becoming a mentor with Deha. So you can go through this handout, and I think your question should get answered about the entire process as well as the training. So I've just shared the handout. Right. And there's also a link put out here, which if you want to join, you can always click on the link, and our executives will get in touch with you. So I guess it's time for concluding this event, and I would first of all, apologize to the audience that there was a technical glitch because of which Pooja had to get out of the session, because Pooja was supposed to be a moderator, and that's the first technical glitch. I don't know what happened. And second of all, I would like to thank the entire audience for having spent their valuable time listening to this particular session, and I hope you have benefited from this. And most importantly, I would like to thank our master mentors and ace mentors, Kiran and Paresh out here, who have really made this a very valuable and a memorable session, I hope, for most of the audience out here. So thank you so much for your valuable time, and I'm sure the audience will be very happy with all the answers and all the enlightening that you have done for the audience here, and I'm throwing light on this whole opportunity of mentors. Just before we leave, I think the last closing statement, I thought I forgot this. What do you think is going to be the future of mentoring for in the next coming years in India? Can you just throw light on this, and we'll conclude with that? Kiran.
Yeah, future in India for mentoring, career mentoring specifically, is tremendous. In fact, Pooja in her introductory speech talked about Times of India article, which is talking about the required number of counselors or mentoring professionals. I think the scope is tremendous. In fact, the fast changing world of work and the new normal set by pandemic kind of a situation has really created a great amount of need for experienced and trained mentors in India. Parents and students really will be benefited if, there are more and more mentors available, because, I am in this business for last 2.5 years, and I have realized that one person cannot reach to all. So we really need more helping hand in the community who will reach out to these parents and students and help them get the clarity on their career fronts. So the scope is huge, and many more mentors are required in this industry.
Thanks, Kiran. Paresh, your comments, please.
I definitely agree. We're changing job market, we're changing professions, thanks to digitization as well as the current pandemic. Definitely, there is a lot of guidance that is required for people. Generally, what I've seen is, people, when you ask, parents and the children about what they want to do, the one thing that comes to their mind is only jobs. But the job scenarios is completely changing. So, there are a lot of activities on the entrepreneurship aspects or maybe business aspects, which, people have really never given real good thought about. So, looking from that aspect, and with the current situations, definitely there's a need to look at professional life in a different way, and that is where mentors will play a very important role. And because of this, I definitely feel, yes, there's an immense amount of demand for mentors today, and it's going to be there throughout. Going to be there.
Great. So I think by concluding this, I should rather say not bye-bye, but welcome to everyone to the field of mentoring. For all the audience, I welcome you to this onerous, noble field of mentoring, which is there to stay for a long time, and there's no retirement age. So there's absolutely no retirement age. So welcome and join the gang and step into fire, because it's not easy, but it's passionate, it's exciting. And with that, I would say let's conclude the session. Thank you so much, and good night.
Thank you.
And Jai Hind.
Thank you so much for having me here, and good night all. And as Naveen said, welcome you all to the community. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.